You are the soul of the earth, but if the soul loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and be trampled underfoot by men. You are the soul of the earth. Keep my commandments and you won't lose your flavor. You are the soul of the earth.
You are the light of the world, a city.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Purim Sameach, Happy Purim everybody, good Purim, good Purim. And welcome to the special Torah treasure. It's not quite, it's a combination of this past Shabbat's Torah portion and with the story of Esther. I think there are some very significant things that we can learn from there. In the last week's Torah portion, TETZAVEH, we learn that during that parsha, Moshe's name is not mentioned at all. Moshe's name is blotted out of that Torah portion, and God is speaking to him in the second command, second person singular. You shall command, you shall do this. He's not called by name at all. But what I found interesting is that during that time where he's nameless, he is called to bless and to instruct and to establish his brother and his brother's lineage into the priesthood. You have to understand, Moshe himself, Moshe Rabbeinu, had sons, so it takes great humility to become nameless. And in that place of nameless, in that namelessness, you make a name for someone else. That's why the Torah says that Moshe was the most humble of all men, of all his prophets, because it takes great humility to be nameless for a season, to take a back seat, and to promote, bless, establish, prepare someone else's ministry. And so that's what I want to talk to you about. And please God that we will all come to that place of great humility like Moshe Rabbeinu, to be able to see, first of all, he was willing to be blotted out of God's book completely, out of Hashem's book, for the sake of the people. That's a true leader. That's a true leadership role and true leadership position and character, to be willing to lay down your life for the sheep. And Moshe, having had been a shepherd for Yithrul's flock for 40 years, I'm sure many a times he probably risked his life to save a sheep or two. And how much more God's sheep, how much more the people of Israel. And so he was really prepared for this ministry, he was really prepared for this call. And I love the fact that he stood in the gap for Micha'el when Hashem wanted to wipe out everybody and start a new lineage from him. He says, no, because what would the nations think of you? That you brought the people out of Egypt, but then you weren't able to basically sustain them. And God listened to his friend's heart. I really think it was a test. God wasn't really going to destroy the people. But I think it was a test to see how, if Moshe really truly qualified as the leader, that he was prophetic leader in a likeness of Mashiach, if he was truly that prophet. Because that's also why ultimately it's written in the Torah that God's going to raise up a prophet like Moshe. Humility, someone who's willing to lay down his life for the sheep. And that's Yeshua. And so I love the fact that next week's Torah portion, he's the one, that's when he says, please blot out my name, don't destroy your people. And then this week, before, his name is not mentioned at all. Instead, he is called to basically set up Aaron, his brother, his descendants, into the position or office of kohenim, and he was called to have the children of Israel make articles of clothing for beauty and for splendor. So basically, he had to take a backseat. He had to not even push for his sons to be in that place. He accepted Hashem's choice of Aaron and his lineage and his sons in his lineage to be the kohenim. And then he was exhorting and blessing and commending others to come and help and establish this ministry. So what I got from this is like, wow, what great humility. Are we willing to become nameless for a season so that we can make another person's name great, another ministry great, for the sake of the kingdom, for the sake of Hashem? It was mind-boggling to me that he was willing to do that. And I pray that Hashem will give me and my family and all of us that heart to esteem others better than ourselves, to be willing to make beautiful, to make splendor another ministry, another person, another family, another city, another nation. Are the nations humble enough to do everything that they can to make Israel beautiful, the apple of God's eyes? The people that he called to be a mamlechet kohenim and a goy kadosh, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, for the sake of all the nations. Will all the nations bring the tithes to Israel as they're supposed to be doing? Will all the nations come and make beautiful Eretz Israel and make beautiful Am Yisrael, the people of Israel? Would they lay down their own grandizement, their own self-seeking? And like the psalmist says, probably King David in Psalm 122, for the sake of my brothers and friends, I will say peace be unto you. For the sake of the house of the Lord my God, Hashem Eloheinu, for the sake of the Lord our God, I will speak good. I will seek your good, Yerushalayim. Will you and will I be willing, like Moshe Rabbeinu, to be nameless, to remain nameless for a season, so that we can make someone else great, so that we can make another person's ministry great, so that we can exalt someone else, so that we may help shape, mold, and prepare the next generation, so that we may bless Eretz Israel, the people of Israel, so that we may bless the Jewish people? Are we humble enough to make them beautiful, make Israel beautiful, make the Kohanim, the priestly line, beautiful? It takes great humility. And similarly to Esther's story, Esther was willing to not only become nameless, she was willing to lay down her life for the sake of her people, for the sake of Am Yisrael. And so you see there's a connection. There's a connection in this. And in the book of Esther, you don't see Hashem's name at all. You don't see Yah's name. There's no name of God, no mention of Elohim at all. But yet he's there, silently, namelessly. He blotted himself out of the book of Esther. But yet, in that place of silence, the Aleph was there. Do you know the Aleph is the first Hebrew member of the alphabet, and it's a silent letter. And Aleph is Yeshua himself said, Ani ha'Aleph v'Atav. I am the Aleph and the Tav, the Alpha and Omega. So here's the silent letter, being silent in the background, but yet is orchestrating every single situation in the lives of Esther and the lives of the Jewish people in that era. And he continues to do so. The Aleph is silently working behind the scenes in Eretz Israel today. It takes a real aluf. Aluf means leader. It's also started with the letter Aleph. To be silent and to be in the background, making sure everything is in place, making sure your people are blessed, protected, and shielded. Yeshua has been the Aleph in Eretz Israel, especially since the rebirth. He's hidden. Nobody sees him. Very few see him. Very few know him. But the few of us that do know him, know that was his hand. The hand of Hashem. He is the hand of Hashem that has been protecting Israel all this time, that has been blessing Israel, shielding it, and gathering the outcasts of Israel, bringing them to Eretz Israel. It's the Aleph. And so in the book of Esther, you see this Aleph remain nameless so that he can make his people great. So that he can make his people great in Persia, in all the 127 provinces. When God turned it around and turned the PURIM, the lot, in favor of the Jewish people, everybody wanted to become Jews because they were exalted through the Aleph and the Tav. Esther, Queen Esther, was willing to lay down her life for her people. Are you and I willing to lay down everything? Are you and I waiting to become nameless so that we can make the name of God great? So that we can make the name of Yeshua great. So that we can make the name of Israel great. The great nation that's called to be a nation of priests and a holy nation for the sake of all the other nations. This is my message for you, this Purim message. May you be willing, may I be willing to be nameless, to be a silent leader, to be one who prepares the people of Israel, to be one like the friend of the bridegroom, preparing the bride for the bridegroom. I want to be a friend of the bridegroom, and I'm sure you do too. So I pray that this message, this short message, has blessed you, and that you should have the best Purim, the best turn of events in your life, whatever you're going through. Know that Hashem is with you. Yah is with you. Yeshua is with you. He is your rear guard. His presence has gone before you. And I want you to know that you should continue to fight the good fight. And the good fight is the fight of faith. We don't fight flesh and blood. We don't fight people. We don't even fight the devil. We fight doubts. And once you hold on to your faith, then you can do great things. And it's faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Holy One, blessed be He. It's faith in the Almighty, the Creator of all things, the one who has the power, the dominion, the glory, the splendor. All of it belongs to Him, the authority. And the one upon whom the government has been put on his shoulder. The one who holds the key of David. And what He opens, no man can shut. And what He shuts, no man can open. In Him we put our trust. In the power of Yah we put our trust. Don't lose faith, beloved. May Hashem bless us and bless me, that we will hold on to faith. May He increase our faith. May He give us the gift of faith. Because this is what we need to fight the good fight. Like Queen Esther did. And even like Moshe did, laying down our lives for the sake of a nation, laying down our lives for the sake of our brothers and sisters, for the sake of our children and our future generations. May Hashem's blessing be upon you, upon me, upon all the righteous for 1,000 generations. May His blessing make you rich, and may He add no sorrow to it. God bless you. Good Purim, good Purim. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you for joining us in the special Torah Treasures. Happy Purim.
How you are the light of the world, a city set on a hill that can never be hidden. It shines for all to see, placed on a lampstand. It gives light to all. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and of the earth. But if the soul loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? How shall it be seasoned?